Yo, see guys, on fire here, back with another video, and today we're going to be hopping into another defensive scheme. We have another blitz out of the dollar formation now, which we have not touched. Expect to see some more stuff out of this formation, but with the dollar formation, we're going to be starting out in DB Fire 2, which I think is probably the best play. This play is very good this year. A lot of blitzing potential in a lot of these formations. The blocking seems like, for anything, it got worse from last year. I'm not sure what the EA devs do all day, but clearly working on the blocking system isn't one of those things. But DB Fire 2, it's going to be the 4-6 playbook. I probably will end up dropping an ebook on this. All signs would point to Tuesday or Wednesday of next week for that. But here we have dollar. You can get safeties at the linebacker if you would like, get your good edge rushers, and then get some fast slot corners. Those guys will be blitzing and playing man coverage for probably majority of the time. As far as this stuff, you can go baseline if you want. Not really going to matter too much, but again, DB Fire 2 in the middle is going to be our play. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you drop a thumbs up on this video. Subscribe to the channel down below. We're on the road to 25K subscribers, so if you're enjoying this content that I post to you guys for free, that I could be putting behind a paywall, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It is the best way to show your support to the channel and letting me know that you guys are enjoying the videos. So without further ado, we have DB Fire 2. Now this year's setup is fairly simple. You don't actually really have to do anything at all. Really what I'll do is I'll press, I'll move these guys in, which you won't have to move them in against every formation. It really just depends. For example, since we're in the spread here, we're going to move them in a little bit because the closer they are, typically the closer you'll get pressure. And then with my user, I'm just going to stand here in this blitz formation, go ahead, snap the ball, and we're going to let the blitz do its thing. Now, it's not going to work every time. Same thing as yesterday's video where the blitz, it doesn't work every time. Typically, it does work more times than not, though, so we'll just set it up very quickly again. Now, having this quick of a blitz setup is honestly amazing because if you're adjusting any further, it gives you time to do some other adjustments on the back end depending on what your opponent is doing, which I'll show you guys some of the adjustments that I like to do against bunch and some of those other really good formations. But in a perfect world, this is what your play is going to look like. So I think I moved them in a little bit too close. You cannot move them in too close on that first setup, but in the second one, we only touched the right one actually. Pause, and we moved him in just a couple of steps rather than 4 or 5, and take a look at the magic. Now, of course, with your user, you cannot be asleep the way I am right here. You want to actually get back and do something, but getting both guys free like that is amazing, and that will kind of piggyback us into a setup down the line where if you're going to get 2 guys free, what does that mean? You only have to blitz one of them, but we'll show this first setup a couple times. Again, all I'm doing is I'm pressing, and I'm moving this guy in a couple of steps. There you see it again. Now, again, that left guy is less of a guarantee than the right one. Most blitzes this year, I have more success just blitzing off the right side for whatever reason. Again, there's no left-handed quarterback, so people are always going to be trying to roll out right and having things going to the right side of the field, so it typically does work better. Nobody's using Tua, and we don't have Michael Vick yet. But again, all you're doing is pressing, moving him in a couple of steps, and there you see again. They loop a little bit weirdly this year. I think it is a little bit different than last year, but there's no really effect. 0.2 seconds isn't going to change anything. Now, if you're running it stock, there's not too many adjustments you can do on the back end. We'll get into more clear adjustments that you can do. Now, you normally have soft squats. You can shade over the top to get cloud flats. If you know you're going to get pressure, you can shade underneath. There is a man coverage version spinner. Of course, you guys know that. I'll probably end up dropping a video on that. But again, you get both guys free. You see I'm trying to get the ball off in like an amount of time that you would see someone you're getting hit as you throw. So overall, it is just killing it. Now, what are some things you can do? Now, once again, I mentioned if you're getting one guy free, what can you do? You can maybe man up L1 on this guy. So if we do that, this is definitely a hit or miss, so we might not see it work, but it works perfectly. So this is rushing 4 now against 5. Now, you have no chance in the world at getting 2 people free in this scenario, but you give yourself a good chance of getting pressure with 1. Again, you're hovering over that right guard. You take like a little step to the left, there's no chance for him to go from the middle of the field to outside of the hash. So even if the tackle takes the cornerback, you have your DN, get a fast DN, take care of business. And again, who's really open? He's going to snap throw it to the seam or have to snap throw drag. We're there. It's going to be a pick. Can't throw it here. It's going to be a pick. Again, click on. So that is just going to be really nice. The fact that you can get 4. Now, again, it doesn't seem to be consistent, the pressure, but it can work. Now, let's say they just slide their protection to the right. This could be just a simple thing. Now, again, most people are too lazy to do the things like sliding to the right, but it does help. You see that is going to be an easy way to block it. So if they have brain cells, they should be able to block the 4-man rush. Sliding to the right won't work against the normal blitz because it's coming from both sides. But again, something similar like blocking your running back can't. But against that 4-man rush, slide to the right. Well, let's say he's sliding to the right. You can notice it because that right guard's going to kick a ton. So if he's doing that, maybe you just blitz off that left side. Now, again, this is less of a lock of actually working. You're just blitzing off the left, but boom, you just blitz off the left. It's going to work. And so if he slides right, that's going to be really wide open. So that's why sliding against a symmetrical formation is difficult because if you're mixing it up really well, alternating between them, it's a guessing game. He's going to have to guess right or he's going to have to get the ball out quickly. So if he doesn't want to do that, he's just going to block his running back and hope for the best. So I'll show you guys what it looks like if he blocks his running back and we send both of these guys. So we're going to block Saquon Barkley here, and then I'll get into some of the other formations where we can show how to adjust out of this. But he blocks Saquon Barkley, and if you get both guys free, one guy should still get there. So you block 6 against 5, the blitz still works. So honestly, probably the most efficient blitz in the game. There is a little bit of a problem with dollar versus nickel 3-3 wide or nickel 3-3 cub, and that would be the run defense. It's not great by any stretch of the imagination. So you're going to have to get really good at shooting gaps. And I haven't lapped any run defense this year, so I probably will drop run defense eventually, but I'm waiting to see what the meta run plays are and things of that nature. But you can see my dollar run defense clearly is not the best. But overall, the blitz is amazing. And let's hop into some other stuff. So if they're in tight, things may get a little bit complicated. Again, just the fact that these guys are close to each other is not ideal. So maybe you want a baseline press, get that better spacing. Again, you can move this guy in a little bit. So you snap the ball here, and again, it doesn't seem to work as cleanly, maybe because I ended up base aligning. So we'll test that out. But again, typically against things like tight, it won't work greatly. If you are facing bunch, what ends up usually working is blitzing off that other side of the bunch. So it wouldn't be blitzing from the bunch side, but it would be blitzing from that left side. So here's with play action. Play action is really good against blitzes this year. It's a concept that it's not too good against some of them, but it's good against these dollar ones. So I was accidentally in that. Now again, not too many people are really running tight, so you shouldn't really have to worry about it. Here's what it looks like if we don't move those guys at all. And there you see a look at what can happen. So maybe it's a little bit better just not moving those guys, but this is another threat of the blitz. Now you saw this a lot out of the nickel 3-3 cub, but boom, just very quick, instant pressure. And this is coming from DeMarcus Lawrence to get those fast defensive ends to put in work for you. So very solid way there. Let's go into something like a gun bunch now. So we go to gun bunch here, and what I mean by this is, again, blitzing off the left side here is probably a little bit better. So we can adjust based upon that because there's so much congestion over here, especially if you're pressed normally, that it's going to be difficult to get him through. Because you see you have the kicker. Now Saquon was blocked, but that left guy would have gotten through. So against bunch, that left guy is going to be a commitment. And again, even if you were trying to get the left guy free, you can still hover in that same position, which is definitely something that I'm a fan of. So we will set that up again. This time we are going to send Saquon Barkley out on a route. We'll just press normally. Again, just hovering in the same spot. And boom, we get that guy again from the slot because he's getting bumped. The tackle has more time to recover. He should pick that up. So but let's show some bluff blitz stuff because if he starts picking it up, especially if he's running bunch, what is he going to do? He's just going to slide to the left, and that will pretty much stop the blitz. So we'll show that. Let's go max protect, or let's just slide left. I'm sure you guys are. So we actually sliding left doesn't do anything. So he is going to have to block that running back. I don't know why. Maybe sliding right doesn't even work. It was just that example. But so let's say he is blocking his running back. He's kind of killing you. Maybe he's max protecting because blocking his running back would work in this case just because this guy won't get free ever. And then the running back will actually block the cornerback. If it was spread, he would have to block more than that because you saw earlier when we blocked Saquon, it didn't work. But bluff blitz, things that I like to do, I would go baseline press. What I like is, or my corners will just not listen to me. But what you can do is go cover 3 cloud. This is a concept I like. You can still blitz one guy doing this. So this would be a concept that would work against bunch if he was just blocking 5. So I'm a fan of this. Another thing that we can actually do here is we can man up a couple of players. So we're going to man up just these 2 guys over here. I am going to leave this deep zone because things like wheels, and I want to jam that wide receiver on the left. So we are going to leave the deep zone, but this is going to allow us to use her over here. If we want, we can also go curl flat over here and just use it in the middle of the field. So we really, and the curl flat's going to be to stop things like this RB route. But you see, we end up getting pressure. That's because of Micah Parsons. Normally 3-man rush isn't great, but that's just an idea of some of the things that you can do. But that's pretty much going to do it for the video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you drop a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel down below, and peace. I'm out of here.